Going live. This hangout is live. All right. Welcome to the Norwich Family Podcast, Episode 1, Season 1, pilot episode. With me, I'm Mark McCormick, and I've got Brandon Barkoff. Say hi, Brandon.
How you doing, audience? How you doing out there? First annual pilot, or first ever pilot kickoff of the.
Yeah, I hope not annual. Annual, I
Yeah.
think we're going to do it a little bit more than annually.
Let's hope if it doesn't follow through like everything else out there.
All right, and with us today, we have Brian Massessa,
Hi.
or as he likes to be called, Brian R. Massessa. Brian, how's it feel to be the first ever guest on the Norwich Family Podcast?
Well, hold on, Mark. I think it's
I
actually
will-
Brian
I will-
Armistead's CPA.
Yeah, now
Oh,
the
CPA.
CPA, man.
We have to address you by your real name?
All the letters, the R and the CPA, please.
Oh, okay, Brian R. Massessa, CPA.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm coming from Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Where are you guys located right now?
Both in Arlington. I'm about 2 blocks away from Barkoff. We decided
Yeah.
that we did not want to see each other in person, so we're doing it in separate areas.
Wait, I thought Brandon was going to go pick up a bottle of Jack from your house today.
Oh yeah, I have that.
Yeah, so he still got my bottle of Jack. So we
I
decided
forgot
to pregame last night together because unfortunately my place had no electricity.
What?
They're-
For
they're-
what?
They're doing construction down the street, and so I guess some idiot decided to cut the wrong power line,
Oh, that's
and
hilarious.
so we didn't have power for about 9 hours.
All right, let me just interrupt the story for 1 second because that just reminds me of something. Our gas was shut off last week for 2 weeks because we didn't know we had to pay a gas bill. So, so we didn't pay our gas bill for the 6 months now that we were living here. So they eventually came and shut off our gas bill.
Where that happened in Norwich.
It did
back
happen.
in the day. Newman never
Brian-
paid the bills.
Brian told us to transfer over the gas, and we never did, and so unfortunately it got shut off. But so you had cold water for 2 weeks.
Yeah, cold water and no burners. It sucked. But all right, go back
One way to
to
wake
your
up.
story. This was literally 2 weeks ago. But yeah, go back.
So going back to the story, so we decided last night to go to Brian's to pregame and go out, and I guess this is going to tie into the story I wanted to share. So for those of you viewers out there who cannot see what Brian looks like, he's a scrawny white kid, and you know nothing out of the ordinary. He's got a CPA. He's a nice educated man. But when he gets his chance, he likes to think that he's a thug. And Brian's weighing in at about 145, maybe when he's wet on a given day. But
Sounds very-
so Brian was very excited because it was a cold night here, and he got to wear his Timberland boots out.
They give me 2 inches more in the winter.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they don't like thugs coming into the bars, so you cannot get into any of the bars here if you have Timberland boots on.
Really?
That's
So,
enacted as of last night.
Is that
Yep.
just a way to like keep black people out of bars? Like
it,
it's so
it must
fucked
be.
up.
I mean,
Yeah.
so Brian didn't get in this bar. Meanwhile, Schumacher, who's equally as scrawny, has a pair of other
No, more
their
scrawny.
LL Bean boots on, branded,
They look
and
the
he gets
same
into the bar.
They're the same exact boots. They just wouldn't let me in.
No, and I think it's because they thought Brian was a thug.
Well, the best part was you have all you clowns going ahead before me, and then it was me, the last person, and then there was a bunch of like actual black thugs behind me. So they let you
They
all
thought
go.
you were the ringleader of the group.
They must have. They let everyone go in, and then the guy's like, "Stop! You can't go in." I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "You're wearing Timberlands," and I was like, "Yeah, good one." I was like, "All right, I'm going in now." And he's like, "No, you're not." And he's like, "Move out of the way." And all these black guys come through. He's like, "Yeah, you guys are good. You guys are good." It's like, what's going on? And he wouldn't let me in. So I was like, "Fuck this!" And I went on like a rampage. And then I went to the back and I tried to like sneak in,
Yeah,
and that
your
didn't work.
patented move.
So I went to the next bar, and the guy wouldn't let me in because I was wearing Tim's. So I was like, "You gotta be kidding!" So Schumacher went out, and we went pretty hard at Liberty Tavern across the street.
Wait, no one would leave with you except for Shoemaker?
Well, everyone went in, and they thought I was just talking to the guy out there. They're like, "Oh, Brian's talking to the guy in front." So no one really like knew because there was no reason why I shouldn't have been kicked out. I didn't even get in, so I guess I didn't
Yeah,
get kicked out.
You were stopped at the door for being a thug.
Yeah.
To be honest, we lost Schumacher too. We had no clue where he went. We were too mesmerized. There was so one thing I learned is that it's great to be a girl. This girl was hammered
Oh,
off
you
her ass.
just learned that?
Well, I mean, she was off her ass, and she decides she's gonna dance on this table. So at first she starts dancing on this table. Big black bouncer comes, picks her up, puts her down on the couch. She starts dancing on the couch. Then she starts grinding up on this girl, like the drunk girl's ass was in another girl's face, grinding, and I guess this wasn't allowed either. But the guy gave her about 6 different tries before he decided to do anything about it. The bouncer, he picked her up, put her down. This girl was just having a blast.
This is the
Little
bar I
did they
couldn't get
say,
into, by the way. Too classy. Continue.
she ended up passing out on the table
Yeah,
there.
imagine if there's a kid with Tim's in there, man.
Yeah.
Unacceptable behavior.
Jeff was telling me a story how he was waiting online for the bathroom, and I guess he was like against a wall, and some guy came over to him, and they're like, "You can't stand there." It's like, I'm in line for the bathroom. There's like 4 people in front of me standing right next to me, and he's like, "Where do you want me to stand?" So like they're like, "Just move back. You're causing a fire hazard." So he moved back, and like 5 minutes later, the same guy comes over. It's like, "You can't stand here." And just like, "I can't stand 3 feet over here. I can't stand over here. You got these guys in line." So they kept yelling at him because he was causing fire hazards by waiting online for the bathroom.
He's too big. He'll block too many people.
He traveled with a large group of
I need to stop this right now. Brandon, you need to fucking sit in a place where it doesn't look like you're like a ghost. There you go. Okay. Now I can see you. Now I can see that pretty face of yours.
There we go. Is that better for you?
Yeah, that's much better. I see your Gatorade shirt.
So at the end of the night, I ended up, me, Kessel, and Lauren, who's another girl, Kara's friend. We ended up going outside, and I made friends with these 2 Middle Eastern dudes. By speaking fake Arabic. I just mumbled a bunch of words.
Can we get an example of
that? It's just you just kind of gotta mumble. Hey, some of the how, you just mumble. And then I said, I'm from New Jersey. I like good people. Do you mind if I share your hookah with you? And so I ended up getting on this hookah and getting invited to bottle service in D.C. at 2 in the morning, in which I did not go because.
Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake.
I mean, I didn't trust Bone Thugs
at the night for as long as possible.
So
that's it for your story?
That is, the extent of my story, and how there's this one white dude who was sitting on a chair who was so drunk he had a cigarette in his mouth and was smoking it, but the cigarette wasn't even lit. When someone tried to light the cigarette. Yeah, he was just so drunk. He was just kind of sitting on his lip where it looks like it's going to fall off. And he looks like he's about
one of
to
the
pass
coolest
out.
looks in the whole world.
Was that the same place?
Cool.
Except someone tried to light his cigarette, and the guy refused. He threw a big fit when they tried to light his cigarette for him.
Yeah,
do him a favor.
Is that a pretty normal night for you guys in Arlington?
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty normal night.
Just going to a random bar doing bullshit?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not...
What time do the bars close there?
1:15. It's the worst. What? You haven't even been out yet at 1:15 in New York City.
No, remember when you came and visited? I think we left our place at like 12:30.
Oh, probably.
That's crazy.
I mean, it makes sense.
Wait, so Brian, you still haven't visited me. Barkov's been here like 3 times.
What's going on? My computer keeps fizzing out.
I said Barkov's visited me like 3 times. You still haven't come.
Well, yeah, because you ignore all my phone calls and my texts, apparently.
That's crazy. For those of you that weren't listening before, when Brian texts me or calls me, it doesn't come through. So I've been calling him and leaving voicemails for the past like 2 weeks trying to get in contact with him.
For any of you listeners out there, if you guys have any solutions to this problem that we're occurring, you can shoot us an email. We appreciate it. And we'll be sure to follow you back.
Yeah, just shoot us an email at Norwich Family.
The email is yet to be created, but when we do create it, we'll let you guys know and make sure to blast it out there.
Yeah. All right,
so we found out, the best part is we found out that we couldn't contact each other through a text group where you're yelling at me and I'm trying to answer back, and Barkov gets the full conversation.
Yeah, and I get nothing.
And Mark gets nothing. So he's been calling me.
That's going to have to be fixed.
14 voicemails on my phone from you where you're just yelling at me to call you back, and I think I've called you back at least 4 times every single day.
I don't believe it. So you've been leaving me voicemails also?
I left you more voicemails than I think I've ever left anyone before in the span of 1 month.
Oh, but true. Like, voicemails are hot in the street right now.
Oh, are they?
I've just been leaving voicemails left and right to everyone.
Very professional.
It's so old school. It's so much fun now.
You sound like a professional running McCormick Management over there.
Well, I just left a voicemail for my younger brother telling him what credit card to get. Just because I love leaving voicemails now.
Did he ask you what credit card?
Yeah, I've been trying to get him to get a credit card for like 2 years. Because I got one for my first credit card like less than 6 months ago.
What's your recommendation?
I feel like I'm behind. Well, Brandon Barkov, Mr. Professional Investor over here, he advised me to let him know to get the city student card.
Okay.
Because apparently that's easy to get as a student.
Yep, the city, for those of you young listeners who are out there, I recommend getting a student card, but the city student card, Advantage card is the best, as well as the Discover 8 card. And no, they are not paying us, although they probably should pay us at this point for advertisement. But
I
uh,
was about to take out my Discover It card, but I literally left it at the bar 2 nights ago. I went to the Islanders game. I've become a huge Islanders fan.
Have you been to that stadium yet?
Well, they just started playing at Barclays.
Apparently, because it was built to be a basketball arena,
Yeah.
so the seating is based on like a basketball arena
Yeah.
seating. So when they bought the hockey team over there, they have all these sections that are kind of blocked off by how
Yep.
they thought it would be. So
I
a lot
have
of people can't see half
experience
the ice.
in that section.
Oh, do you really?
I couldn't see the left goal from where I was sitting. Just all play on the left goal was non-existent.
Did they give you cheaper tickets, or was it just kind of like you got fucked
Well,
over?
the tickets cost $20.
Okay, there you go.
That's nothing. But we just went and chilled in the 30-30 club.
I want to
No.
get back to Barkoff's advertising. You guys should just make a brand advertising and just throw it in here randomly throughout, and you'd be like, oh,
Oh, like between two ferns?
yeah, exactly. Just throw it in and see which ones stick.
No, like it'll come over Barkov's like face. You will be in. Will be advertising like Applebee's.
we'll see what we can do here. I'll give it a shot. We're gonna advertise for the Italian store, your favorite Italian store, chicken parm, the best chicken parm in all of Arlington. When you go to an Italian place, you want to walk in where the people speak Italian, and you've got an old Italian lady yelling at you, "Hey, what do you order? What do you order?" And you get your chicken parm, and that's why every Sunday morning I visit the Italian store.
Yeah,
Number is 703 XXXXX.
yeah, I can't tell if that's real or fake, but that was really
Yeah,
good.
that's just really good. Yeah. It must be a real spot.
Yeah, exactly.
All
It is
right,
the
well,
spot.
Barkov, as some of you don't know, because I'm not sure if this started before we started talking, this broadcast, but Barkov, it looks like you're drinking coffee right now,
I am drinking coffee. Yes.
and this is on top of the Adderall that you took this morning?
Questionably.
So that brings me to my first topic that I want to discuss. You know how Adderall is kind of like that drug in Limitless,
Yes.
where it's like your brain just works like incredibly? Would
Yes.
you trade like the Limitless drug, and you could have a Limitless drug, but you die at like 45?
Some of us are already 45.
Yeah, I mean, Brian's got 5 years till his 45th birthday, so Brian, are you ready to end your life, or is it too young for you?
You know what? If this limitless pill, if I was allowed to enjoy it for the last 20 years, sign me up. But
Exactly, right?
I'm near my expiration date.
Barco,
He's
what
like
do you
the-
think?
Brian's like the milk that was in my fridge yesterday that because the power went out went bad. He's got 5 years left. But I don't know. That's a hard question. I would probably have to go with no. If
No.
you said if you said 65, I'd say okay.
Well, of
by-
course, like half the people die at 65. Of course, you'll take the best drug in the world.
And
to
even
live-
those who don't die really die. They do die at 65. I mean, let's be real here. Unless you're Hugh Hefner, everyone kind of dies by 65. But on a more
I would
optimistic note,
100% take until 45.
I don't know.
I could cram, like, in my life, I live probably every day doing nothing. Like, I'll go into my daily routine soon enough. But I could cram into, how old am I, 23? So it's 22 years. I could cram, like, 300 years of living into 22 years with that drug. I would be
That's
able
true.
to, like, solve huge problems. Like, I could make millions of dollars in the stock market. I
What
could
would be
learn
the
to play
first problem
poker.
you solved?
Dude, I don't even know what the problem is yet until I start taking the drug. If I knew the problem, I'd be able to solve it now.
That is true. Would you create? Would the first? I think the first thing you should do, and we can fill the listeners in out there. Mark, why don't you go into your whole big scheme with your management, McCormick Management Company over here, and your
McCormick
sports
Management?
betting, Bloomberg.
Oh, no, Brandon, I can't discuss million-dollar ideas over the internet.
Okay.
There are going to be millions of people watching this. I can't have them stealing like my number one idea right now.
So then we'll have to wait and fill you back in.
We'll
once
wait
it
until
becomes-
I copyright that fantasy football situation.
Okay.
But in terms of gambling in general, I've taken now. I'm learning Texas Hold'em. That's
Are
why
you?
going to be my new job. I think I'm going to move to Vegas and play Texas Hold'em.
Okay.
I've been playing for the past like 2 weeks now. I've probably lost like $300. So it's like it's got to come back around.
It
to
returns
be
to
ever winning
the
money.
law of means, right? The law of means. It'll return
Yeah,
to
it'll
eventually.
eventually go back to the average, and then since I'm playing, I'll be getting better, and then I'll be able to just make millions of dollars, easy.
Okay. Speaking of quitting jobs, why don't so for those of you who don't know, we have two friends out there. I'm not going to disclose their full names, but Jay Lou and Mr. Kligman, and so they both recently quit their jobs, and so
Jayla
this
quit
kind
his
of
job?
so this is something I want to talk about. So what would you do? Would you ever get to a point where you would quit your job and just say, you know what, fuck it, it's not worth it? And he worked for Morgan Stanley, but now he decided to be
100%.
he decided to be, though, hold on, this is the catch. He's now working at a gas station in New Jersey as a gas station attendant. Temporarily, he's working at a gas station. And you know, not to discredit those who do work at gas stations, but I don't know. He swapped a Morgan Stanley job where he wasn't happy to a gas station. How much happier could he be?
Why the fuck? Okay, it looks like we lost Brian, but he didn't talk in the past 10 minutes, so I don't think it's that big a deal.
So
That
what's your opinion on that?
He left Morgan Stanley to go work as a gas station attendant?
Yep. So now he's working at a gas station. Um,
I mean, how much was he getting paid at Morgan Stanley? Was he just
oh,
like a really low down analyst?
no, I mean, yeah, he was in operations, but he had to be getting paid 55 would be my guess.
Well, Vaughn is still working at what's it called?
He's at Morgan Stanley as
The
well.
other Morgan? Oh, I thought it may have been the other one, J.P. Morgan. But yeah,
Nope,
Morgan
nope,
Stanley.
he's at the same one.
Wasn't he making like $10 an hour?
No, Vaughn. So Vaughn was one of those people who couldn't get a job out of college. Just to fill you guys in, and maybe we'll upload to the podcast a attachment of Vaughn's first resume for those who want some entertainment value. But just to fill you in, his highlight of his resume was intramural sports captain for flag football. All spelt wrong.
His crowning achievement.
Yep, that was his crowning achievement, and somehow he got a job with Morgan Stanley.
Yeah, so if you,
through a temp
if you want a
agency.
big job, you can get it with any type of resume.
Yep. All it proves is you just got to be alive and breathing to get that position. But so yeah.
Just going, yeah.
Yeah, so he works at Morgan Stanley too, and I don't know, he just decided, you know, he wanted to change a pace, and the high speed environment of cars coming and going in a gas station kind of meets up with that. So that's where he is now. But on the other note, Mr. Kligman, and I'm sure everyone out there, I mean, Mark, you can go into your Cutco experience, but Kligman was working for a pyramid scheme.
Cutco was great.
Which,
I made like $2,000.
yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, it worked for you for Cutco, but for Kligman, he was the one who was selling the dumplings. If you've ever been in a Costco or a BJ's, the one that gives the dumpling free samples, the little ladies with the hat, that was what he was doing. So now he quit that job, and he's now trying to find another position for himself.
Wait, so he's not working at the gas station also?
No. Unfortunately, they're both not working at the same gas station, or at least not yet.
All right, so I just tried to invite Brian back in here.
Okay, we'll see if we can get him back in, get him up and running. But on a side note, why don't we go into some of the topics you wanted to discuss?
Well, I kind of wanted to wait for Brian. But yeah, wait, did you say before that you had Ebola?
Yeah.
So this was brought up because apparently now you can get Ebola through as an STD. That like Ebola, the drug is like staying in people's semen. And so like men can't get it, but women can get it. Just like like how classic is that?
That is pretty classic. And that does make sense. I don't know, when I decided to make some extra money on the side, and I'm now a Ebola vaccine person. They're doing this test and whatever. But the one thing they said, and it's always so awkward because you have these old registered nurse ladies trying to tell you about, you know, using protection when having sex. And so she goes, "Oh, are you sexually involved?" And I said, "Yeah, you know what? I am sexually active." And she goes, "Okay, well, make sure you use condoms and the double barrier method to prevent against pregnancies because they don't know the effect on the vaccine and whatnot." And so I shook my head and said yes, but I don't use any protection.
Barkov,
What?
they told you that you could get Ebola?
No. So I can't get Ebola, but they don't know the effect if you had a baby. If you had an Ebola baby, what would that thing look like? It's got 3 eyes, 3 legs, 2 ears.
And you still agreed to get injected with this?
Yeah, for $2,500.
Yeah, it's so much money because they don't know if your next child is gonna have Ebola or not.
Yeah, I mean, J-Lu might as well just stop working at the gas station and he could just take Ebola, classes or whatever. Become an Ebola test
Analyst?
dummy? Lab rat, yeah. Ebola analyst.
No, Brian's not coming in. It just told me your page where I could watch. I just sent him a link. I just sent you a link.
Well, this is why it's the pilot here to try and work out
this
these
is the pilot. We'll send it. We'll send it to our friends and see what they think. All right, let's get into something good. Oh, Brandon, I want you to take me through a day of your life.
A day in my life. Oh
There you go.
gosh. I'd say right now I'm on your pretty basic day. I get up, I go to work, I drive, traffic sucks. I work. Well, and so I guess this is another part, probably about my day. But I mean, there's nothing too outstanding. The only day that really differs is if Le'Veon Bell is playing.
Why? Because then you have
If
to watch.
Le'Veon Bell is playing, that is a good day. And I do have him on my fantasy team, so I'm kind of biased, but I do really think we connect. I think Le'Veon. I'd love to get
you and
Le'Veon Bell on the
Le'Veon?
show.
Yeah.
So I watched. I don't know for those of you sports fans out there. They did an E60, and he was featured on this, and I feel like we really connect. I grew up with a single mom. So did he. We both grew up in with a mom who cared for us, and I think that we really connect, and I think that I have a personal connection. So when I see him play, it's not just I'm watching him for points. I'm watching him because I care about the guy, Although I've never met him, so
Yeah, obviously, and he has no idea who you are.
probably not. And maybe
But
he does.
besides that, you guys are boys.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I should tweet at him. Although I've only used Twitter once, and I tweeted at Caleb Sturgis
Yeah,
for winning my fantasy league with a field goal. Although now he's the Eagles kicker, so I'll accept that.
Yeah. So how many players on the Eagles can you name, Mr. Eagles fan?
A good amount.
3? Is that
No, more than that. More than that. I can name a lot on offense, and probably a fair share on defense.
Oh, hey,
as well.
Brian.
Oh, Brian's back in. Hey, there we go. Get it up and
Yeah,
working.
you guys blocked. We did a little test run, and you guys gave me the boot to test things out, and I just got a giant boot out of this one, so I'm back now.
We were trying to get rid of you. I guess it's a little harder than we thought.
I don't blame you.
All right, so next I guess we'll talk about the Wayne Simmons. This is the guy that's been an analyst on Fox News now for 27 years. and he got this job by saying that he was a former CIA operative, and he led multiple missions, and he just now, I think he's like 70-something, he just got discovered, and he's facing like 35 years in jail. So is this like a snake it till you make it type move, and like it's a respectable move because you got to snake it until you get in, or is it the scummiest thing someone can do?
Who was the moderator of the Democratic debate? He was a very high-end name.
Anderson Cooper?
Yeah, I read an article saying that he traveled to I think it was Vietnam, and
Yeah.
he did homemade videos of like just dangerous things.
Yeah, I think that's how he like got his like big start.
So I feel like you have to snake it until you make it.
Yeah, right. He just
Right? It's not the first case you've heard of that. And it
Yeah,
probably
like
won't be the last.
yeah, Anderson probably didn't actually go to Vietnam. Probably just made some videos in his basement, passed it along,
He put some
and now
trees
he's the
in-
moderator at the Democratic debate.
I say do it. You know what? What happened? Like we were talking about before. Live your life and then you die at 45. This guy lived for tons of years, making a ton of money, doing a fun job, doing what he wanted to do, and now he's 75. So what? He goes to prison for a few years.
I'm so about that life.
Yeah, right.
Remember, you're 80. Anything past 80 is like it's like icing on the cake.
It's high risk, high reward.
80. Yeah, I completely agree.
That's very much like the
that'd be bad.
limitless question. He lived his life in full, and then you know what? Once you turn 75, you're dead. You're dead or in jail anyways.
Exactly.
All right, so the next story we're going to talk about is the Illinois bankruptcy.
Oh, hold on. Let's tie back to that one real quick. Because
Yeah.
we're talking about old people, and so I heard this on the news, and Brian may know what I'm talking about because we tend to listen to the same morning radio show, the
Oh,
Bobby
Brian,
Bones
you
show.
driving
But so
also?
so they were talking about there's a guy who I guess he's an old guy and he was wandering the streets, picked up a prostitute, um, and he got caught picking up this prostitute, and the cops found him, and he decided to play dumb and play like he had Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And so they said, you know what, this little guy, we'll let him off. And so they called his wife to come pick him up, and his wife knew about it. And his wife was like, you know what, the guy wants to have sex. Let him have sex. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And so the DA decided not to prosecute. But I mean, imagine that. Like, come on now. This guy's old. He just wants to get it in.
No, I
Mark,
don't
you
like
could-
that kind of stuff. I think that if you do something against the law, you have to go to jail. Like, who gives a shit that his wife doesn't care?
Mark, you could probably get away with that with your loud voice and your crazy actions. You could just be like, "Oh, I have this disease. I could get away with anything I want."
I have Tourette's. The
Yeah,
only way
there
to
you
cure
go.
my Tourette's.
Most
is
I mean,
people
to have
believe you.
sex.
But his like the guy's wife was like, you know what, like it's fine, let it be. You know. I like
I
that.
think I might have read that story. That was
Yeah.
a while ago, though.
It was probably about 2 weeks ago. But to me, that's just it's totally a different side of the coin. If you were on the street wandering for a prostitute, they'd pick you up and they'd book you in a second.
Yeah, that's age discrimination.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
being discriminated against because I'm young. It's
Yeah.
unacceptable.
I think I could get
gonna
away
have
with
to
it.
ride in the streets.
And okay, so Mark, now you can go back to your Illinois story.
Oh, Illinois. Yeah, Illinois. The state of Illinois has become bankrupt, and so they've decided not to pay out any of their lottery winners. So they currently owe $288 million in back lottery winners while they're still selling lottery tickets and they're still running ads on TV. So if you won, like, let's say $50 million off this lottery, and where do you guys live now, Virginia? And Virginia should decide not to pay it out, what would you do?
If it was
Right.
that much money, that's like making a bet and having one side lose and saying, "Oh, I don't feel like making that bet anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done." You can't do that. They have to find a way to pay it out. And I think if it's that much money, you have to take some kind of legal action. There's no way you don't win that case.
My
Well, hold on, Brian. Aren't you into, like, business accounting?
Yes.
Like, if you file bankruptcy, are you allowed to just get out of debts like that? Or
I don't know how the government can do it. I know it's like you could claim personal bankruptcy. It's like I think it's like chapter 13 or 14.
Chapter
And-
11 would be businesses.
Yeah, chapter 11 is businesses. I'm not too familiar with government though. For personal banking, what you do is you take all your debts that you owe, all your liabilities, and then you take all your assets and you pool them, and then you put it in like an order. There's like an order of who gets paid first when something like that happens.
yeah.
And then it just goes in that order, and wherever the cash runs out, the cash runs out.
Bargo, what do you think?
So my thought is it sucks for if you are that lucky guy who won the $50 million and you don't get paid out, but you just said that they're still running the lottery.
Yeah, they're still running the lottery.
So my thought is, what idiot out there is still buying a ticket saying, "Oh, I'm gonna win," and putting their $10 from their EBT food stamps onto lottery tickets when they're not even gonna win. I think that's the biggest point is the fact that there's people out there who are so dumb, who maybe are so oblivious that they're still willing to take a risk.
Yeah, the government's just giving out EBT, and the people are buying lottery tickets with EBT
Yeah.
and giving the money back to the government.
Did
Yeah.
they
So
shut down
perfect
any other
system.
programs, or are they still running on full speed?
I have no idea. I read like the first like 2 paragraphs of the article. I'm not a journalist over here. Oh, the first Chick-fil-A just opened in New York City, and it is on 37th and 6th. My office is on 37th between 5th and 6th, and so there's a line now for a fucking fast food place, insane, that goes right in front of my building. So I can't leave my building between like the hours of like 11 and 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't leave.
So, but you said you've been there 4 or 5 times already.
I was working late this past week and I went again on Friday. I was working late again. I went from Tuesday to Friday every single night, and I got a Chick-fil-A Deluxe. I felt like shit.
And how much weight have you gained since you started doing that?
Well, as you can see, the webcam is from my neck up. That was done on purpose.
For a moment there, I thought you were trying to pull a Barkov in his Italian advertising. I thought you were going to do it for Chick-fil-A. I was like, that's not very good.
They don't need any advertising.
So you guys at least get to eat Chick-fil-A. So I found out I'm allergic to another thing this week.
Does it begin with a P?
It does begin with a P. So the running joke is I'm allergic to peanuts and peas. So anything with P.
Not the running joke. The fact.
The fact.
The fact is that you're only allergic to
I'm allergic.
that begin with PE.
PEA was what it is, but we can now rule that off. It's only P because I had pesto the other day. I was at work. So you mentioned an average day in the life, and so this was me on Wednesday. I went and got lunch. I got pesto pasta, and apparently the pesto sauce has pine nuts in it. And I had an allergic reaction at work, threw up in the bathroom, and had to use sick time and go home for the rest of the day.
How embarrassing.
Pesto and pine nuts?
Yeah, I was going to say,
well, no, I'm not allergic to
there?
pesto. Just to clarify, I'm allergic to the pine nuts that were in the pesto. So now it is peanuts, pine nuts, and peas. That is the extent of my allergies.
Brandon, your allergy is clearly fucking with you.
It probably is.
Fucking with you.
Yeah.
It's only picking things that are peas.
Yeah, and it was the worst. Well, because I was in this bathroom and I didn't want to like make a big scene, so I'd try and throw up when there was no one in the bathroom. People would come in and I'd have to like try and hold it in between people coming into the bathroom. It was the most. I literally took me 30 minutes just to pace it out. That's why I hate when they have the whole bathrooms with the 3 different stalls, 4 different stalls. Why can't it be one personal bathroom where I can,
That's what I have.
puke and rally on my own?
Yeah, we have personal bathrooms. There are men personal bathrooms, and the women just have a group bathroom.
Barkov,
Yes.
were you in we work together, so we're in the same building. What floor were you on?
I was on 8.
Okay. Well, piece of advice, anytime that happens, go to floor 5, because no one ever goes to that bathroom.
Why
There we go.
Because it used to be Dan Schneiderman's floor, but he's not there anymore.
There we go. Okay,
what does that mean? Who the fuck is Dan Schneiderman?
no. It's Dan Snyder for those of you who are listening,
yeah,
and it's the owner of the Redskins, who may be one of the scummiest owners, in my opinion.
Well, did you see Kevin Durant is trying to buy the Redskins?
Is he really?
Yeah. I just saw this on Barstool. It was like Nate was writing about that or something.
Okay.
Kevin Durant.
I could see. I mean, I don't know if he's.
Owners let Kevin Durant own an NFL franchise.
You know what? Who knows? You know, Michael Jordan owns a basketball team, or the Charlotte Bobcats. Jay-Z owned a team for a while.
He owned less than 1% of the Nets. Jay-Z.
Yeah, but they'll let everyone. Nowadays, anyone. If you have $100 million in a bank account, you can own a team too.
I guess that's true.
Well,
But so this is a question. If you were an owner, and I know Mark, you had talked about this because you're passionate about it. But if you owned a team, would you be a Jerry Jones type owner where you're hands in, or would you be Robert Kraft where you sit back and collect your money and your trophies?
Exactly right. And I think that my consensus was I would want to be a Robert Kraft type owner, but it'd be impossible because I just would want to get involved in everything. So I'd end up being a Jerry Jones type owner and probably ruin the team.
So do you think Jerry Jones has ruined the team?
Well, he won 3 Super Bowls.
I think his highlight is when he passed his glasses when it was raining back to like his son-in-law, whoever that was, with the cheesecloth.
His son-in-law.
Yeah. Where he doesn't
His
turn around,
son-in-law is
like,
his
take
personal
off the
glasses
glasses,
cleaner.
holds them up.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's what you want to get in life, where you're so successful that you have your own personal glasses cleaner.
I'd love to be that position.
Well,
Of course you'd love to be in that position.
can I bring up a story Barkov was telling us last night, just a tidbit of information?
I would love to hear it.
All right, we were talking about taking tests and like where we are in life, and Barkov said that he would be a failure if he wasn't a millionaire by 30.
I did.
So if he is not a millionaire by 30, put Barkov on suicide watch.
I did.
Well, Brandon, do you still have the plan to be the youngest CFO ever?
Well, I don't think that was ever the specific plan because I'm sure there's some.
Whoa. See, now I don't believe in your $1 million by 30.
Well, it was to be.
That was definitely your specific
No,
plan.
because it wouldn't have been that because there's some Joe Schmo who created a company that is worth $20 and a bag of pennies.
All right,
and
a Fortune
he's a
500 company.
Yes, that would be correct. Yeah, I want to be CFO of a big company as well. Yeah.
But the youngest ever? Or is that plan out the window? Are you getting too old now? You don't think you're gonna get on
No,
track
who
anymore?
knows? Who
Over there,
knows? You know,
pool over there.
my goal is to go on Shark Tank and be the CFO of my own Fortune 500 company.
Wait,
That
you're
I create.
you're gonna create something and
Sure.
go on Shark Tank?
I think so.
So you're gonna take like the American Idol approach?
Yeah, it may change tomorrow.
Nope.
Maybe, you know?
Oh,
I like
Brian,
it.
Brian, aren't you a big Katy Perry fan?
Oh, I love Katy Perry.
Yeah, I'm out on her.
You're out.
Completely out.
I mean, she hasn't
all
done
in on
anything
Taylor
recently.
Swift.
Are you selling high on Katy Perry?
No, I've sold out of Katy Perry, and
Well,
I
see-
bought low
see-
on Taylor Swift, and I've taken Taylor Swift to the top.
She kind of hit her peak during the Super Bowl show, and then that
Yeah.
left shark kind of stole the spotlight, and she's never gotten it.
I think
think
I've
that-
seen.
I think her last good song was Roar.
Yeah, and the only reason why we all liked it so much was because that was one of the prop bets on that Super Bowl. That we were all screaming it and singing it.
For those of you who haven't done prop bets are the move for the Super Bowl. It keeps you involved in every step of the way, just betting on random stupid things. I mean, Mark, what you put on your prop bets, or was it Brian who made the prop bet list? Name some of the items that were on there.
We make a prop bet pool, and basically what it is, it's a list of 40 different prop bets, and it's kept on a live, real-time status. So one of the things would be like, oh, first person to catch a touchdown, is their number odd or even? And it's kind of 50-50 prop bets. Would the national anthem take over under X amount of time? Just a bunch of crazy bets that keep you rooting for the most ridiculous things during the Super Bowl. Will there be a 2-point conversion? What else was there?
I think this year is 2 minutes and 16 seconds for the national anthem.
Well, I know
think
that
I think it hit the under.
the line was like perfect. I know it was like a 1 second difference. So that one was
Those
Pretty
people in
intense.
Vegas know exactly what they're doing.
yeah.
But I've been telling you, I've been gambling on NFL games lately.
Yeah.
I think I've made I don't know, less than 1,000, but close to 1,000.
Yeah.
And all I do is like the website that I gamble on, their lines are like really shitty. So I'll just go to Vegas and find like the biggest difference in the Vegas lines and my lines, and just gamble on like the shitty lines from my website.
Vegas knows.
I win all the time. Yeah, it's just like I don't know who runs this website that I gamble on, but they're not getting their numbers from the top. And
He
so I've
must
been
not be
taking
very-
advantage of that.
very-
Sometimes
Or
it's better
rich
not to know.
Sometimes it's better not to know.
Yeah. You don't
What
want
do
to
you
be running that website. It's the mafia, man.
Well, I just don't want to get like my knees broken.
You're
It's
gonna
something I'm nervous about.
lock your door at night.
I have very weak knees to begin with.
All right, so let's move on to actually, you know what? We were talking about work, and so I feel like people can relate. Mark, have you ever been at work, and you work with, I'm sure, an interesting group of people, but there's a guy I work with now who's at the point where he's kind of like J-Lou, how we had mentioned, where now the kid's trying to get fired.
Wait,
So
what?
he's trying to get fired. I'm not going to mention any names.
I've got to try to get fired right now.
So sometimes he'll go out to work out for lunch at work, and he'll go to Cheesecake Factory or wherever, and he'll sit at the bar for an hour and just drink, and then he'll come back
Drink? I
occasionally.
couldn't do that.
Yeah, and he'll drink, and I mean, you get to the point, I guess, where he's trying to get fired, and so everyone hits that point, I guess, right?
Well,
Eventually.
I was talking to Brian actually, like last week, where I told him that at lunchtime now, I just take like 2-hour lunches and go to Bryant Park, which is like 2 streets away from me, and just play chess.
Well, I think you
I
could do-
take 2-hour lunch breaks to play chess in the middle of the day with like old homeless men.
I think you guys bring up the two very different sides to workers these days. Mark, when did you start your job?
9 months ago.
9 months. Barkov, when did you start your job?
2 months.
2 months. So Barkov's in that brand new, like, just started work, like, super giddy phase.
Yeah, exactly. I remember
Like,
being
every
so
morning,
excited.
he's got the biggest smile on his face. He's so
Yeah.
happy. He doesn't want to kill himself yet. I remember going down the elevator after, like, a training, and I had a big group of people with me, like my team. And everyone's just so tired and, like, bored after that training. We're going down, and I work on 4, and for some reason, Barkov was on floor 5. And the elevator stops, and Barkov's there, just standing when the door's open. Big smile on his face, so
So
giddy,
excited.
so happy to go get lunch. He's like, "Hey, Brian, how's it going?" And I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Oh, where are you going?" And I was like,
To
"Work."
kill myself?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to work. And people are, as we go down farther, people are like, "Do you know that guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know him. He was my roommate." And they're like, "Oh, do you like that guy?" And I was like, "I know him too well." But that's the difference between working 2 months and working at least like 6 months. Up to that 9 point. At
I'm
some
so
point,
done.
it's just like, hey, if you fire me, like I just don't care anymore.
That's where I'm at. For the
That's where I'm
past
at,
like
too.
2 months, I've been going for chest breaks. I've just been like leaving work early. And one of my bosses, one of my managers, he came over like 2 days ago and he took me to like the conference room. He's like, "Hey, so it feels like you've kind of got like one foot out the door here. Like I see like you're not working as hard as you used to. Like I don't know, are you like trying to find another job?" I'm like, "No, no, never, never, never. No, I love this place. Like don't worry about it." But I've been trying to get out ASAP. ASAP Rocky style. I think my roommate does he's like a salesman. He's like a broker. He sells like payday loans. And
Okay.
so he said that he wants to get me started doing that. He makes commissions of like $10,000.
You should go into
Insane.
the jail bond industry. Sell jail bonds.
Oh,
Yeah, but then you
those things
I'll be
are
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
absurd.
Yeah.
Jail bonds are the biggest ripoff in the world
Why?
because they put out money, right? And assuming you don't skip town, you lose like 10% of whatever the bond was. So that's what you have to put up, right? So let's say your bond is $250,000.
Yeah.
That means that the bail bonds place gets $25,000 from you, and they put up the 250. And if you show up to your court dates, then they keep the $25,000 that you gave them, and they get their 250 back.
Well, yeah, you're paying them to borrow money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like if you think about the interest rate on that, right? Like your court dates are, let's say you're going to be, arraigned, and a normal process takes maybe 6 months. So
Yeah.
you're paying 10% interest for 6 months. I mean, I guess it's risk
But
factor,
then,
right?
Let me ask you a
Brandon,
question.
or you would be in jail for 6 months.
Borkov,
I mean, maybe I'm thinking if I was in jail, I would definitely show up to my court dates, and maybe there's hoodlums out there who are just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to skip town and go to
Yeah.
Cancun, Mexico, and
That's why the interest rate's so high, because such a large percentage of
I
people
guess
skip
that's
out.
true.
Let's
I'm
be
thinking about
honest.
me,
Yeah.
let's be honest here. If you have $250,000 worth of bail, you're not going to walk into a bank the next day and be like, I'd like to apply for a loan, please.
That's true. That is
Yeah,
true. I
that's
guess
what
I got to
it
think of
comes down
that.
Well, that's why these payday loans that my roommate does, the only reason they exist is because people won't lend them money. Banks are like, it's too risky of an investment. It's usually like restaurants, and banks don't like loaning money to restaurants, so they can charge high interest rates.
That's true. I guess it's all about need, right? At the end of the day,
All about need, baby.
all
Supply
about
That's all
need.
it's
demand.
about.
You know who I think needs a loan right now, or a smack in the head?
Uh, no, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, hypothetically, if you could give it a smack in the head, so I went to Walmart the other day to try and get a desk,
Yeah,
and so their machines, the whole registers, stopped working for 3 hours. So for
Wait,
3 hours, Walmart's machines were down for the rest of the night. People are waiting in line like to check out. They're just leaving shopping carts everywhere, abandoning ship, leaving the store. The lines are like piling up, and this little small Asian manager is running around. People are like, when are the machines coming back on? Are you getting it fixed? He doesn't care about answering anyone's questions or the machines. All he cares about is making sure that the carts people are abandoning are being brought to the service room so they can restock the shelves.
Fire
That's all he
hazard.
cared about. He didn't give a shit about the machines. And
I
that
like
pissed
it.
me off.
I like it. He cares
that
about
pissed me
no one
off.
stealing the merchandise.
And they also,
He just doesn't give a shit about you, and you're upset about that.
I know, and I like Walmart because it's cheap, but I also noticed all the employees have to wear those little Aladdin vests. You know, the little Aladdin vests that say Walmart on the back of them.
Yeah. Did
Have
you
you ever
see?
been to a grocery store and they have like the checkout areas, and
Yeah.
they always have about 20 of them, but they only have 2 open at all times. So there's
Always.
I don't understand that part.
I don't
Like,
understand
why
it
do they
either.
have so many if they're only gonna have two open at all times?
And I would like to
I think they
purchase one of those
assume they're all going to break.
Aladdin vests.
They assume that all those registers are just going to break down and stop working. Like the Asian man, they're just not going to fix them. They're just going to.
Yeah, they know. They've learned
Oh,
from
they
Walmart.
broke. Oh, these all broken. These all broken.
Did you talk to him in your fake Chinese also?
No, I did not.
You didn't pull out that
But
one?
I did make friends in line with 3 large black women.
Yes.
You know what? You
They-
really get along well with all the ethnic groups between the.
No, large black women are the single group that I'm just like I can't roll with them. They're
Really?
too scary. Yeah, they're
I feel like
too
they're
scary.
the easiest to get along with.
Oh Lord, they're so scary.
If you're a white male, I feel like you're in automatically.
With large black women?
Yes. The juxtaposition is just too perfect. You could
Okay.
be a
Here
nerdy
I've
white
been
dude.
sitting all this time as a white guy, thinking that I get along with white men well. But no, you're telling me that's the large black woman that I should be going
It is
for?
the single, yeah, because if you think about it, like, for example, even, there's an old movie that was out that I liked, Road Trip. Have you guys ever seen that one?
Is that like the Euro trip, like the
Yeah,
sequel?
but it's where he goes to the Boston, Austin, mix up with some video, and in the show there's a white nerdy kid, and he ends up meeting this big black rotund girl, and they end up becoming girlfriend and getting married, and like but like it's just like that just proves it, but it's just because I guess you could be a white nerd or you could be a white, semi whatever cool kid, whatever you want to consider yourself, but they'll just make jokes. They always just make jokes, and they can like make fun of themselves, they can make fun of everyone, and they don't care because guess what? They're a large black woman.
Are
And
you
they
the
don't
white
care
cool
about it.
kid?
I don't know why
for the
this
record.
reminds me of this, but I was on the L train yesterday, which goes from Manhattan to Brooklyn, and there were like 8 black kids that got on, and they were like sitting in between like the doors, and they turned on a boombox and started listening to like hardcore rap like really loud and like dancing to it and singing to it, and like the guy's like flipping through the songs, and all of a sudden a Professional Rapper by Little Dicky comes on. And there were these like thug kids. I was like, holy shit! Like they listen to this, and then all at once, all of them were like, yo, bro, turn this shit off. I'd rather listen to my priest preach to me than listen to this garbage.
I think he was ashamed it came on. It was almost like as if Taylor Swift popped on or something.
Exactly. I was like, oh, I guess they're not into Little Dicky just yet.
Trying to sneak into the playlist over there, hope no one notices.
Exactly. He was hoping his boys would be into it. And oh my god, they shut him down so hard. But I was so excited that like Little Dicky was approaching like the black people also. But
That's true.
alas, nah, he's not at all.
No. So Mark, how do you feel you relate to Little Dicky? Because you both don't like wearing pants 90% of the time.
Yeah, that's basically where the similarities end.
I thought you were both white and Jewish.
That's true.
Well, Mark is. I wouldn't go that far. Mark is white, but Mark plays
My
both
mom's
sides of the
Jewish.
coin.
My mom's Jewish. My dad's Catholic.
But you play both sides of the coin, I would
Well,
say.
I play whatever side is working best for me in the moment.
Yeah,
I'm Jewish.
I'm not gonna tell the anti-Semites that I'm Jew. I'm not
That's
gonna
probably true.
tell. Yeah.
So, what was so this brought up something I was thinking about, how recently, yesterday we got in the Uber, right? And Schumacher gets in the Uber and he says, "Hola, amigo," to our Uber driver, who happened to be of Spanish descent. And this guy, or actually, I don't even think he was Spanish. I think he was Middle Eastern. But the guy gave us the dirtiest look. Mark, do you remember when we went to the diner?
Yes, I remember. Why do you have to bring this up?
So
We talked about this when
Sounds
we were
familiar.
on Labor Day.
Because I think this is a funny story. Could you share with our listeners out there your story?
So I used to go to this diner called Plato's Diner every weekend or every other weekend, either Saturday morning or Sunday morning. So I could sit down, I would read a book, and I would eat my corned beef, hash, and eggs, and just relax. It was like my favorite routine. And so I was also taking Spanish classes at the time. And I was really trying to learn Spanish because I was very bad at it, so I tried to practice it everywhere. So I would walk into Plato's Diner, and regardless of who was at the counter, I would say, I don't even know Spanish
I
anymore.
do.
But
I
would
do.
say, like,
You said hola, tres personas, por favor.
oh, yeah, tres personas por favor. It's like all the time when we would go. And so there was this one guy who I guess was Latino, even though I didn't really think he was. But over weeks and weeks of me saying hola, tres personas por favor to this man, he eventually just snapped one time when it was me, I think it was us three. And he goes, every day you come in here and you speak Spanish to me, and I find it very belittling and very disrespectful that you speak Spanish to me because I speak Spanish. And I just want you to know that I'm pissed off by it. And then he starts, and not only does he say that, but then he starts leading us to our table. and I'm saying like, holy shit, like, oh my god, it's gonna spin my food, oh my god, oh my god. I
The
sat
most
down,
awkward restaurant trip ever.
and I think it was like one of the first times I was like bringing you guys to Plato's to like be with me to like my favorite spot, and that happened. And I'm telling you, I don't like. I used to speak Spanish to everyone. I don't do it anymore.
Well,
Like,
because you don't want another experience.
Not at all. Yeah, that's what I was saying at Labor Day. This man changed how I live my life, and like, I've never been able to really say that about
It's a
someone
major,
before.
major influence on me.
He's a major influence on me. It pisses me off. I was like talking to some Spanish guy yesterday, and like I like to like speak Spanish, so I kept like saying "sí" when he was saying something, and then in the back of my head I had like that little voice being like, "No, wait, that's disrespectful. Don't do that." So I had to change it. Stop speaking Spanish. I'm telling you, like, this is the one situation in my life where this guy really like he changed how I live my life. Really pisses me off.
I think Schumacher almost had one of those experiences, but then didn't. But you know what? At the end of the day, he kind of will say whatever he wants anyway. So
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm talking about no. When Schumacher got what brought up the story was when Schumacher got got an Uber and said "Hola, amigo" to our Middle Eastern Uber driver, who I guess he assumes is Spanish.
You should have pulled out your fake Arabic. Apparently, it works.
My
He
fake
tried
Arabic.
to, he almost started a fight last night when we were walking over to the bar. I was gonna say it was like 4 or 5 of us, and I guess some like black guy on his bike like rode by, and he said some shit to him, and the guy turned around and said something back, and he was like, "Come over here and say that to my face." Meanwhile, he's surrounded by myself, him, who's much smaller than me, even though he's a little bit taller. Jeff. He's like, "Oh, we have 5 guys. We could take him." I was like,
Wait,
"Dude,
so you three combined are what, like 220?
dude, I don't think we break like 300."
I seriously don't. Although Schumacher now, so he has a running joke where he tries to think he's getting big, and now he's weighing in at official weight of 165, which is his all-time high.
No way he's
And
165.
he's 6 foot, right?
Yeah,
That's
6
insane.
foot of
Way he's
skin and bones.
165.
Yeah, I mean, he's been saying he's been working out lately, so maybe he's a little bit closer to 165. But he weighed like 125 in college.
Oh yeah. So let's tie back to as we approach kind of ending time for this podcast.
I'm done with everything I wanted to say. So if you
So
guys have
I just want to give a final point. Have you ever done this? I know, Mark, you're a big person. When you have you hate ironing, but when your clothes are wrinkled, you run the shower with hot water and let them they
because
steam
that
up,
way I
right?
don't have to do anything. It
So
takes care of itself.
I figured out the other day I was trying to put on a shirt and it was really wrinkled and so I heard this old wives' tale that you put your shirt in the dryer with an ice cube and it takes out all the wrinkles. And I didn't believe it, and I was like, it's just going to make my shirt wet, then it's going to dry, and it's still going to have wrinkles. I did it, and it looked as if I had dry cleaned the shirt. It was perfectly pressed.
One ice cube?
I put 1 or 2 ice cubes in with the shirt, let it in for 5 minutes, and it came out perfect.
Well, I don't have a dryer, so I can't use that. Why do you think I have mountains of clothes sitting in my hamper?
Mark's struggle in living in Brooklyn.
Let me see if I can see. Nope. You're
almost gonna clean up
there it is. There's my pile. Because I gotta walk to like the laundromat. So, and I've tried to do like fly cleaners. They come and pick it up. Costs like $60. I'm not gonna pay fucking $60.
It's all about need, right? All about need. You need your clothes cleaned eventually.
That's true. But the way that I see it is that all I've got to do is carry it to the laundromat. That's the hardest part. But I love sitting there and like reading a book or like playing some chess, something like that.
If it makes you feel better, I'm about 45 years old, and I don't think I've ever done a load of laundry without getting wrinkles in it.
Oh, dude, I ruin my clothes all the time.
All the time. And I was going to say, Barkov's trick definitely works, because, I mean, I know you got to throw moisture, like, so you could just throw water on it, you could throw ice cubes in, throw it in the dryer, and you just got to make sure you take it out within, like, 6 hours, because I always forget, and I always leave it in there, and then it gets wrinkled again.
It becomes doubly wrinkly.
Yeah, dude, it gets really bad.
All right, so we'll close up and just kind of sign off here. And I think the pilot went well, and I guess we'll be back next week. Thank you, Brian, for coming on our show.
Thank you. I'm very honored. I think it was a successful little thing you guys got going here.
Oh, yeah, and we'll
So who do you think we should send this out to?
I think it looks like you guys have like a web, I guess it's a Google like website almost.
Well, I know that this is gonna. I think it automatically uploads to YouTube, but I put it only as like private, so no one can see it.
You know what? I was going to say we had a couple listeners in here at some points throughout the show. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Who
we
was
hit
in
an
there?
all-time high. I'm just
I
trying to
assume that
boost
was Kara. I couldn't really see.
Carrot came by, Alec came by, Jeff came by. I'm just trying to boost the standings so that way I get invited back to the show a
Dude,
little bit more.
you tripled up our
Yeah.
viewership.
There we go. So I think the goal is to put this on SoundCloud, and we'll work on getting an email address. So for those listeners, you can submit comments. We'll take requests and hear your opinions.
I have some advertising agencies too who are very interested in your show.
Oh,
You guys,
very.
you guys are in the primetime slots, so
All right, well, I have a handy here now, and it sounds like she's starting to vacuum. So I think this is the perfect time to sign off.
all right.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Thanks again,
Signing
Brian.
off. See you back next week. Have a good one.
Peace, guys.
Bye.